Probably my most favorite one that I've worked with along the left. I mean, I've worked with quite a few, but Dantalion's got to be my absolute favorite. And like last time, since a lot of people wanted to throw money at me for whatever reason, down below is the PayPal link. And if you ever want to throw something at me, you can. And also, if you want cardstock thrown, just wait until the end of the whole. Um, Wait until I'm finished with the material, and then I'll take questions, and then yeah, throw cardstock. So, without a further ado, let's send it back. Okay. I'm just gonna get in tune. So, Duke Dantalion. He is a goetic spirit, or I'd rather just call him a goetic divine, even though I don't like using the term goetia or goetic, because it's to me kind of petty that somebody has to do that stupid cardboard box piece of candy and the cardboard box is being held by a stick. Yeah, it's kind of sad that somebody has to go to that kind of a measure to booby trap and trick a divine being and force them to do whatever the person deems fit. Disgusting. I don't like that because that's really kind of rude and inconsiderate. But anyway, I hope this thing's not lagging too much. But let me see. What happens if I do this? Um. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to double check, make sure that was doing what it's supposed to. I guess it is. So, Dantalion is spirit number 71 in, you know, King Solomon's rampage of not knowing how to, you know, kind of be hospitable to an entity and, go the BS route of thinking that it's okay just to trick a divine being and make them be forced to do what he wants. Yeah, nope. So, he is described as a figure that has many faces, both men and women. He carries a grimoire book in his right hand. He is gifted with the knowledge of knowing every thought and feeling of every human being that walks and of the earth. And it doesn't matter how far away somebody is, when the person who's working with Dantalion goes towards him and asks for a vision or some intel on whomever they're asking, they could be like here in the United States. Then there could be the person they're inquiring be all the way in Russia, the other way, not like going from like okay, United States to the left, not like United States to the right. But still, it doesn't matter how far away. Dantalion can actually provide intel because he knows every human being's thoughts and emotions. He also can do this if you are interacting with someone and you kind of have the hoochies for him. He can and he can actually make that person go from I'm not interested in you, go from that to like I must have him, I must have this. My hoochiness is craving it. Yeah, he can change thoughts and emotions on the fly of people. And in a way, he's kind of like a psychiatrist. But this way, the way that he goes about it, at least to me, based on my experience, I mean, he's right. Like a riot, as in like he makes me laugh a little too much. The best way to describe him, at least based on my experience, if anybody's seen the Animaniacs and how whimsical they are, that's like how he is with me. a lot of fun, a lot of whimsical, and sometimes he can be a little bit feisty and sassy, but not aggressive, but just like, oh, you think you're cute? Yeah. And at least whenever I make contact with him and he's interacted with me, he kind of speaks like one word at a time, at least with me. Sometimes he speaks, I'll try my best for an example. Why are you bringing me in this? God, not again. Leave me alone. Yeesh. Oh, nasty. Stop it. Be nice, dude. Love you to death. This is not the time to, Anyway. And he controls a total of 36 legions of lesser spirits. And he holds the title of Duke. Similar to, I believe, Astaroth is a Duke too. Don't quote me on it. I kind of see back there. Yep, I see something moving back there. I'm the other one in the room, by the way. The colors for him, he likes, at least based on my experience, the colors purple and green. And I'm not sure if it was shown in like the little display thing, but this is how I have his symbol drawn. And it was kind of not a coincidence based on the color scheme and how it looks, because I mean I look at it thinking, oh, that's funny. It looks like the colors of the Joker. That wasn't planned, by the way. It it just came out like that. And you're probably thinking, where's the circle? Mm-mm. I do not draw that. Why don't I draw it? Well, because the way that it's perceived by them, you're thinking, why are you drawing a circle? Are you trying to say that I'm going to swing at you, kid? I haven't even done anything yet. So you mean to tell me that I'm aggressive? You haven't even met me. That's true. If somebody is trying to come towards you, and then the first thing they do when they come in contact with you is be like, don't hit me. Yeah, that's what they think when there's a circle. They're thinking, are you going to really believe that I'm just going to swing at you when you just, come towards me? There are some left-handed divines that can be pretty in your face, like Andros. Let's just say if you make him mad, well, hope you have life insurance, and hopefully he's the one that, you can come back and try again if you mess up with a new life. But still. The scents he prefers, he likes honeysuckle, which to me is it's difficult for me to get in this area where I'm at because there's like barely, So that's why the alternative is sandalwood. And his zodiac position is, I believe, don't quote me on this, 20 to 24 degrees Pisces, which is um, March 11th to 15th. Oh, no, by the way, oh, look at that, it just so happens to be March. All planned. The stones that he likes, I mean, based on my experience and based on the piece that I've made him, yes. Whenever I interact with him, this is the piece I hold. I hold it like this. Hand in there, I hold like this, and I just hold it like that. And then I say his chant, or N, I believe that's how you pronounce that word. It goes, Alarsh Dantalion Ondra. I like to kind of make it more flary because I'm just, I guess, magical, if that's the right word. It just sounds more fancy when I do it that way. And on this piece, well, we have this big honker piece of amethyst in the middle, which I also use if I'm like wanting to actually look through it and scry. I look through it like this. And I can say there has been some times when I've looked through it and all of a sudden something just goes, mm-hmm, it's happened. And not only did it make me shriek like a schoolgirl the first time, it also gave Dantalion something to laugh at. You wet it yourself. Rude. And on this piece, there is clear quartz at the bottom. Then there's that is green jade, Amazonite, which is a very sassy stone. The little, the little, where's the camera on this bloody thing? These little things, there's a lot of them. That's legit pearl. And yes, he has all my pearls. And that says something. And there's also aventurine, and then up along the line here is selenite. Yeah, so this is something I don't want to get wet, because if I do, well, whoops. Some say that his planet is Venus, some say it's Mars. Well, kind of being like a psychologist and somebody who wants to build relationships, that's kind of more Venusian, but it can be Mars in the way that it's also Pluto, because Pluto is the one that goes Hong Kong Fooey and rips things open and digging deep to pull out something. But nope, I would have to say more Venusian, because in order for you to be a psychologist, you have to be willing to accept somebody for how they are and help guide them. Venus is a guru, like I said about Lucifer, the same thing. And of all the spirits that I've worked with, Dantalion kind of is more along the lines, more willing to do work that's a little bit more on the like, okay, I think this person needs, needs some changing. Or like somebody needing the help, if you know what I mean. But, he may be the one that you could, ask and have assistance with, if somebody you want to kind of be a little bit malefic and be like, I want to have that one be like my puppy on a leash. Well, if he goes for it, good. If he doesn't, well, I can't really say because I'm not him. And his tarot card, do I have a deck around me? Oh, right behind me. Okay, so his card, and according to Black Witch Coven, that's the site that I got all my pretty much my notes from, and also personal experience. But it said that his tarot card is the Ten of Cups, so, and that's also Mars in Pisces. And believe it or not, Mars in Pisces is a friendly sign. Like Mars is in a friendly sign to Pisces, and Mars in Pisces is actually quite comfortable. Somebody's way of exerting their energy and their way of defending something, the way that they go face first in something, is actually like doing mixed martial arts. And also, since Pisces represents the feet, somebody's feet are very active. Well, as well, in this, I can't remember which deck this is, but this is the Ten of Cups. So, since this is Dantalion's card, and actually Mars and Pisces is actually associated with this card, so okay, I can kind of see the connection. So, in the Ten of Cups, well, that's a card of emotional fulfillment. It's, of course, a family card of having family bliss. It's pretty much having fulfillment on the emotional and kind of also the material level, but primarily it's like the happy everlasting card. And Dantalion also excels in keeping families together and supporting family members, especially if they're one that is not really mentally well. He's also really good to also go towards and ask assistance of if somebody has like Alzheimer's. And he also is remarkable in teaching you how to better interact with people that do have those challenges. As well as like if somebody has bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, um, PTSD, multiple personality disorder, any of those kind of impairments, Dantalion is remarkable in helping with those kind of conditions. And if I could say on a scale of 1 to 5 how difficult it is working with him, to me, I would have to say he's like a 2. The only time that it can get a little bit difficult is he's a spirit that has confidence in himself and he wants to actually get to know you if you go towards him. Even though he knows your thoughts, he wants to see if you're willing to be truthful and open. I mean, it's not really. That's probably like the only hardest part, not being able to spill the truth towards him. It's hard to do, even like to any other person. But as they say, the truth sets you free. And I mean, if he already knows what's going on and what the issue is, you might as well just tell him what it is. Because nothing would probably agitate him more than you going to him and then say BS, and then he just responds, "You stupid! I no, you trying to do." Yeah, he's really active right now. Like more active than I'm used to him. Anyway, um, when you're gonna be like going towards him, like I said in the beginning, please, 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 please do not do it the Goetia way. Please don't. Don't do it that way. Don't. Because if you do, well, not only is he going to look at you and think you're stupid, but if you're going to try and bait him and then capturing him and forcing him, the minute that you know he gets free, and all the other ones on the left-handed side, once they get wind of it, you're not going to take too lightly to it. Because put yourself in his situation of being tricked and now being forced to do whatever somebody else wants you to do instead of, building the bond between you and him. That's so much easier and is more rewarding. But that's none of my business. And really, pretty much that was it. He's a really, at least for me, he can actually take somebody out of a depression and then just make them laugh hysterically. I vouch for that. And I mean, he's also insulted me pretty good. I'll admit that. But it takes a special kind of bond to have with someone or an entity that it's so close that they can just insult you and you just go, you know what? That was a good one. Yeah. So anyway, really that's all about Dantalion. If anybody has any other questions about anything, have at it. If you want cardstock thrown, just say your question. And yeah, I'm just floating. And if ever you I just shot myself in the face with this thing. If you deem fit, that way you don't have to be all like, how come your the heck's that thing called? Super chat, I think. How come Super Chat isn't available? Well, you know what they say about YouTube. You need to have how many hours? 4,000. But not there yet, but still. It's down below in the description if you'd like. If you don't, well, it's okay. And when you choose like a certain deck that you want me to use, just choose a number between 1 and I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. 1 to 3. 1, 2, or 3. Just pick one of those numbers, and if you want Demon, the Damon Tarot or the Dark Goddess Tarot. Other than that, I'm just going to flow and answer questions if there's any. Because I really hope this thing is having, save highlight. What does. Question. If somebody wouldn't mind. Oh crap, wrong button. If somebody wouldn't mind just putting a random message in the live chat so that way I know it works. We could even say, "Oh, wow, Brendan, you're quite the flamer tonight." I know. I really don't care. As long as I know it works, I'm good. Or, somebody find a troll, please. Somebody find a troll and then just put them in here so that way I can know the chat works. And they can try and insult me and then I'll just make them look like the world's dumbest dimwit. In all due respects. I can't tell if the chat thing's on, so... Because if it's not on, I'm going to be very upset. Because I don't want someone to be all like, we've been speaking the past 20 minutes and you haven't even acknowledged us. I don't want to be like that. That's not very nice. Because I don't see any chat. So, hold my pigeons. 30,000 years later. Oh, and I don't know if Gary's here, but if he is, I haven't got that deck yet. I'm just letting you know. And I've been itching to actually start, using it. But you know what they say about UPS? You had a package? Oh, whoops. That's UPS in a nutshell. Don't look at me. I know how to handle my package at least. Oh, okay. And yep. 30,000 years later. Oh, well, that was just bad luck. I just made a crack in this thing. So anyway. I don't mean to have an awkward silence, but this thing likes to take its... What the heck is this thing doing? Milkshake. I think this is drunk. That sounded... Oh wait, never mind. Come on. A little faster, honey. Yeesh, you're reminding me of my first time, and then, believe me, that took forever. What? What? It's funny. Whatever. Okay. So, why? Oh, why? Wait. Okay. I think I know what I need to do. Yep. Please hold while I try and not look stupid. Kinky. Yeah. Honey bear, you gotta open this bloody thing. There you go. Now get out of my life. $30 years later. Now. Okay, well at least I know that works. So. So. The next video that I'm going to be doing, well, I mean, that's why I was asking, do people still want me to keep going with the left-handed path stuff? Because I kind of still want to keep going about it. Oh, look, there we go. Okay. Now that I see the chat on this screen, so let me just go back all the way to the beginning. Let me go all the way to the beginning. Okay. Okay, so Rusty's here. Then we have Harv asking, how do you... Okay. How do you invoke him? Okay. So I hope Gary, wait, I hope Harv is still here, because if he's not, I'm so sorry, because this thing did not tell me the chat was up. So how did I invoke him? Well, the way that I invoked him and the way that I actually go towards any divine entity, but specifically left-handed divines, I always ask Lucifer to accompany me, because since I'm going in a turf where he's the most supreme one and the one that brings enlightenment and is really good in guiding me towards one of his dukes, I always bring Lucifer or any entity that I go to on that side. I always ensure that Lucifer guides me to him. That way, for one, I'm actually being guided to the actual one and not someone trying to think, oh, I'm going to trick him. No. I've had that happen once before, and it was not pretty. Not pretty for them. And pretty much what I did is I just simply played his chant, his ein, or whatever that is, and I just let it just keep going. And after a while, I was saying it mentally, just in my head, and I then just got into a trance. And then he just appeared in front of me, all kind of whimsical. He was like how he was presented. He looked like he was um, he had on a mask, and the mask one side was like happy and the other side was sad. And then he like was able to turn his neck to another way, and then the same mask, but it was like one side was even angry and the other side was all like it was plotting something. And then his head turned all the way around, so that way the back of his head was now in the front, and one side was going, and the other side was all yeah, and yeah, like every time he spoke to, his head just kept changing. At first, I'm thinking, "Oh my lord, man, to do what?" But then after, when I actually was conversing with him, that's when his Animaniac side came out, and he was just a doll, and quite the whimsical one. Um, and I communicate with him pretty much telepathically, like the thoughts that I have towards him. That's how I communicate. I'm pretty simple, and usually when I'm looking at either an image or if I'm in a trance, I just let my mind do the talking. But if it gets out of hand, that's when I actually speak and just say, no, that's enough. Because I've had instances when an entity thought it'd be cute to, try and mess with me, like Lamash do. Let's just say that she tried a little too hard to make me, react. But knowing how she purposely tries to destroy everything because she wants to make things not the most prettiest, I mean, I just responded with like, "Wow, Lamashtu, I just love your creativity. It's so beautiful." Yeah, she got trolled, and I mean, she just left on her own. And hear voices? Do I hear voices in my head? Actually, not really. No, but at least to explain that, the difference between somebody having schizophrenia and a psychiatric disorder or psychosis, and I saw that you ain't slick. Anyway, the difference between somebody having a psychiatric disorder, psychosis, and actually having like awareness of entities, the best way I can describe it is that schizophrenia and those kind of impairments, because I've actually had a psychosis period in my life, those voices and when they speak, they're pretty much like on your like pretty much next to your ear and in your head. While the entities, on the other hand, like when they speak, it comes from a different direction and it's more farther out. It's not like this close, but it's like has some distance to it, and there's a direction it comes from. And that's also a good way to also know if somebody does struggle with this. If they hear something within their head and like really close to them, like that, like close to their ears, that's really a sign of psychosis or something related to that psychiatric disorder or ailment. But if it's an entity, it's going to be more farther out and coming from a direction, if that makes sense. Let's see. Okay. And I hope that answered your question, by the way. Oh, from Amsterdam? Really? I love Amsterdam. I love it. Possession from Beelzebub. Um, that's That's the divine. That's the Lord of the Flies, right? If I'm correct. I'm just making sure that I'm remembering correctly. Besides, how was it, by the way, interacting with Beelzebub? Was it a good experience? I mean, I don't know. I haven't approached them, but one of the things I do also want to inform people is that at the end of the day, too, no matter what happens, always remember that you have the right to your body, your awareness, and your sense of self. Always, no matter what. If something outside of you, no matter what it is, it can be a divine, a left-handed divine, an angel, or any spirit or any of that of the sorts. If it comes towards you and if it gets in your face and tries to intimidate you and try and take you over, just treat it as if it was somebody else just getting up in your face. And if it's another person getting in your face, I would hope your response would be no. Because it's your life, your body. You have the final say, not them. And if they won't respect that, well, just give them a good lesson in what happens when you don't have self control and you're not considerate. Because I've had instances when somebody was actually being harassed by a trickster spirit trying to be Pazuzu and try to think, oh, well, I'm Pazuzu and there's nothing you can say. Nope, don't argue with me. And what ended up happening is this individual's great great grandmother actually made a pact with this supposedly, excuse me, this supposedly Beelzebub, no, not Beelzebub, Pazuzu, but it wasn't him. So this fiend trying to pose as Pazuzu was harassing this guy and his, I believe it was fiance, and she was expecting a child. And this fiend was trying to get the kid before it was born. And I'm in a completely different state. And he's actually text messaging me saying, like, what do I do with this thing? Well, okay. I just told him, I'm going to ask questions, and I want you to ask it the questions I'm asking, and then respond to me what it says. So the first question I asked was, okay, who are you? I'm Pazuzu. Hey, I don't know that. I don't know you're Pazuzu. What am I supposed to know if you know you're some low level entity that thinks he's hot shit? I don't know that. Prove it. I am Pazuzu. Take it or leave it. And then it started, like, from what he was saying, pretty much doing, like, putting fingers in his ears and just going, I can't hear you. That crap. And he told me about that, and I'm thinking, okay, if it wants to be like that, fine. I just told him, ask it this. Last question. So, a pact was made by his great grandmother, right? Okay. Does the pact say you can be in this guy's house? And from what that guy texted me back, he said that it went from to no. Yeah. And then I said, okay, perfect. We know that, the pact doesn't say you can be in here. So what do you think I'm going to tell you to do next? What? Out. And it had to leave. Because the pact that was made did not say that he could be in that guy's house. Yes. Got bamboozled out the front door. He couldn't fight back. Because specifically, it did not specify in that pact that he could actually enter the individual's house. So out he went. Shortly thereafter, he asked me, what happens if he comes again and tries to get the kid when he's born or later on down the line when we're not around? Well, it's simple. If he appears again, just tell him straight up. The only time you can have my kid, the only time, is when he's about to take his last breath on his deathbed. Why did I say that? That's quite simple. The reason why is because the only way that this fiend can get a hold of his kid is right when he takes his last breath. But once he takes his last breath, dead. So, nope. Ain't gonna get him. That's using mental alchemy and bamboozling out of it. And technicalities are deceptively strong. So you know. Oh, okay. Yeah, and Pazuzu's, I believe, I think he's Sumerian, I believe, but I mean, I haven't actually interacted with Pazuzu as the actual entity because that was actually turning out to be a trickster spirit. Because I don't think Pazuzu could do that. Yep, technicalities are deceptively strong. One of the things that I do quite frequently, if somebody thinks that they're going to try and curse me, oh, you're going to curse me? Oh, excuse me, let me just find a. Actually, there we go. Random pen on the floor. Oh, somebody's going to curse me? Well, here. I just made a sigil right there on my hand with the intent of if I'm going to be cursed by this individual, no matter what they throw at me, it's going to make me be empowered instead. And it specifically only affects that individual's magic. So if anything an individual throws at me, it's going to hit this symbol, and no matter what it is, it's going to empower me. That's the technicality and how pretty much how overpowered it can be. But you have to keep it simple. Because there's a yeah, I think he was in I think he was mentioned Futurama, but also there are some people that think Lamashtu, isn't that love? No, 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 no. I've had people actually tell me that. How is Lilith related to Lamashtu? Well, Lilith has class. Lamashtu just wants to make everything not pretty. Besides, I think Lilith would even look at her like, really? That's supposed to be my sister? Oh, really? Yeah. So, um, and so um, I'm trying to sneeze, but I mean it's trying to come and go. But ugh. so so Beelzebub is actually one that kind of is like a persuader. He persuades you to do what he wants, and it's interesting. So in a way, he's kind of like, would you say that he's pretty good at the art of seduction in a way, seducing you to do something? I mean, heck, that's something I wouldn't have expected in Lord of the Flies because I think of like the kids seeing the pig's head on a head spike. Well, yes, Lilith is. I mean, really, she's a divine that's all about the unknown because we have no idea what she's gonna do. She does as she pleases, and I mean, at least for myself, I see her as a divine of self empowerment and self recognition and self respect first. I don't go from like succubus. No, I, for me, I just don't like looking at her in a way that's like an object, vulgar stuff like I cannot do that because to me that's kind of like degrading her, and I don't like that. But some people have their viewpoints. But there is one individual that not gonna say names that he kind of called her a bitch, and I mean I'm just all you connected to love, huh? Well, if you were, you would not call her a bitch. Besides, I don't think she would even want to come near you anyway. Oh, you call me a bitch, huh? Well, it's okay. I mean, I'd be jealous too if you can be as feisty as me. I'd be jealous too, kid. Uh, well, I like that he teaches you with his seduction. It's it's to me. I wasn't expecting that because I'm thinking Beelzebub, something that probably involves stagnation or something like that. That's what I was thinking. But heck, interesting. Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, at least in my opinion, and actually that's more of the noble thing to do to admit admit what you've done, and but really deep down the intent behind it is that you actually made a like if you made a mistake and you're intending to correct it and improve between you and the entity, then I mean I understand what just happened. Just for me, I can't. No, I cannot touch her. But to answer Harv's next question, do the demons stay around me all the time or only when summoned? For me, I'm somebody that has the belief that all these entities, divine, spirit, left handed, angelic, Fey, elemental, passed on, all of them exist, and I'm always open. They can come towards me at any time. But the moment that they think they're going to swing, that's when I don't put up with it. I'm completely neutral. I worry about myself and do what's best for me. But if something comes and swings at me, no. Master Alchemist, kind of like Agante. That was actually the first Lieutenant Divine I worked with, Agante. Also Saket. Yeah, Saket. That that one is like yeah. And funny enough, when I first interacted with Saket, the time that I actually like invited her to come in, as soon as I was finished like saying I can't remember how it went, but as soon as I said the last word, I heard a gunshot go off. Like, so I hear Saket's in here after hearing a gunshot. I, I wasn't expecting he was about to be an alchemist. Hmm. Learn something every day. Um, and usually the way that I see like darkness and the stuff that's really dark, usually at least from one of the things that the primordial goddess Nyx said to me many moons ago, like years ago, she said that pretty much all that the darkness is just it's just a void that no matter what you say is in there is exactly what comes out. The darkness is such a vast and giving being that only wants to give you what you want. So why be afraid of something that just gives you what you want, no matter what it is? Good, bad, dreadful. If you want something, it just gives it to you. And I heard that noise back there. You ain't slick. And she also said to learn to see without your eyes. That's when you'll see everything. And Nyx, as in like the primordial Greek, well, also Roman, Nox. Yeah. She's kind of like the deity that I have the second most experience with. The first one's, so you can see her. Well, can't, but she's. See, will I help? No, can't see her, but my first entity that I have the most experience with is actually Hel, the Norse goddess of the underworld. So yeah, and I mean, talk about being on your toes like every 2 seconds, at least at first, because I mean, good Lord, Atlantis, she almost made me deaf. Um, but yes, really, the darkness is not. To me, the only time when something can get out of hand with the dark is that if you're letting the mind actually control what happens in the dark. And since not only is the dark also an energy that's very sensitive, because it is sensitive, but when moon and two sensitives come together, it can be very like chaotic, and you never know what's going to come upside the head, if that makes sense. But I mean, I haven't really had a negative. Actually, here's another entity that I've gone towards. Andros. Yes, the one that make people go. The one that if you make one little whoops, you get your head cut off. Mm-hmm. Ugh. It's just. I mean, I went towards him just like how I went towards anybody else, the same way, except part of me was a little bit more like stern and focused. Like, this is how it's going to be, Andres, okay? No shenanigans. None of the shenanigan stuff and no intent on harming one another. Good? Be truthful. But I was like really firm. Because if you're not firm and if you're not really confident in yourself, they'll take advantage of it. But not in a way that's purposely doing it, but kind of to like show you your. Yeesh. Now they're moving all over the place now. One at a time, guys. But having that strong sense of I'm in control, I know what needs to be done. I'm not going to let them push me around. And I saw that right there. Keeping that grounding and knowing that no, I don't care what they do. I'm in control of me, and if I'm uncomfortable, they have to know. And if they won't respect me, then they have to go. Because my space is a no negative zone, and we have to work together as a unit, as an equal. That's it. Andres. Where is my. There it is. I'll show you what he looks like. Let me see if I can find him real quick. And Andres is he's a divine that is very aggressive. Like he that's they're really active right now. Oh, I'm used to them. Now this is Andres. Yes. If you are familiar with him, yes, it's that one. The one that actually kills the mage when summoning him. And also manipulated the mage and their acolytes to start killing one another by saying that, well, he was plotting to do this to you when you were in ritual. He's very dangerous, but that's why with him you have to be like firm and pretty confident in your grounding. And making it known that no, you respect me, I respect you. That's how it's going to be. If you're not going to respect me, then never mind. I want nothing to do with you until that respect is there. Because at the end of the day, any entity that I go towards or invest with, I'm not saying they have to be here. They don't have to be here. If they want to come in and be hospitable and be mindful, doors open. But any BS, no. Mm-mm. And everybody gets the same treatment with me. Nobody gets fancy woozy woo treatment. If somebody's stupid, they're stupid. That's it. Regardless of title, regardless of pantheon, regardless of anything. And I mean, I've had the same like standing and belief since. Yeesh. I first met Hell in 2017. Yeah. So pretty much the whole belief since 2017. But I mean, I've been in this practice since 2010. It's just I really started practicing all the way back in 2017, like really practice. But from 2010 to then, 2017, I was just pretty much just reading and not saying anything. And where is from the beginning? Back one. Okay, wrong way. Okay. So to actually describe Andres some more, it says the Marquise. That's his title. He holds the title of Marquise. Is a beautiful but dangerous. I don't like saying the word demon or demon. No, demon. Possibly I could say. It's just the word demon has a negative stereotype and annotated to it, like it has a negative thing attached to it. And I don't like having negativity towards the divines that I work with. Never. Because I think it's like you're just insulting them in a way, in my opinion. That's just me though. I don't like insulting the beings I work with because that's counterintuitive. Oh, yeah, Damon, D, how do you spell that? Daemon. I think that's how you spell it. And Damon, funny enough, is actually who Lucifer is a guru to. And daemons and demons, funny enough, are assurers or people. Demons are people. The malefic, destructive, fiendish individuals are Rakshas. Those are the ones that intentionally act malefic and destroy and cause terror. Those are Rakshas. Those are the really malefic ones, not the demons or demons. And that's kind of talking about when I was live earlier about how I call Lucifer the one who bestows enlightenment to mankind. It's true. I'm just saying. He is a guru. And I'm using that word correctly as a guru. Real guru, not like a finance guru. That's not a guru. When somebody says that they're a guru, they're full of crap. Because guru doesn't come from the person teaching, it comes from the student to teacher. Mm-hmm. But back to Andros. He controls 30 legions of spirits. He has the bodies and wings of a heavenly host. So, pretty much an angelic body with wings, okay? But his head is that of a raven or an owl. He often appears carrying a sword and riding a huge black wolf, which possibly could be a hellhound. And if you're familiar with hellhounds, when you catch sight of them, that's an indication that death is pretty close. Saw that. And yeah, that happens to me daily. Like, I just notice stuff going on in the back. Andres' most dangerous weapon is not his wolf or blade, but his tongue. When summoned, he does not outright lie, but he sows discord, or chaos, or disruption. In the days when magicians and their assistants summoned powerful demons, Andres was known for turning the assistants against the masters or convincing magicians that their assistants were trying to upstage them. Before summoning Andres, the magician and his assistants would draw out a ring of protection on the floor. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Because, especially with Andres, if you do that, he's going to try very hard to pull you out of it and then don't do a circle with him. Keep your ground, be strong, and stay at the boundaries and be firm about it. Don't let them push you. Let them know that you're here to actually build a relationship and actually invest in one another. Not any kitty BS. Mm-mm. We're kind of here to empower ourselves and also have them assist us. Not, be like a little thing that they can feed off of or take advantage of. Not saying that they'll do that, but having it be known that we're here to actually get down to business. And also, that's pretty, at least for me, it's interesting that you say that love taught you, or, yeah, she taught you necromancy, because for me, I can't do necromancy. I'm not allowed to. Unless if hell gives me permission, I don't do necromancy. Because she has the belief that if you're going to be doing necromancy or going with doing any kind of workings involving my dead, you better ask me first, kid. And with her, I didn't get that choice. And she kind of informed me and drew it in my head. If anything happens to whomever you bring up from the grave, and you don't ask me, you're gonna wish that you never even brought them back to life for whatever crap you want to do. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't even do it unless if I have to. I'm very strict and careful with that. Oh yes, vampirism. Yes, though again, I see her as a divine that tells you, "Oh, you're doing the stuff that doesn't make you empowered again. You're gonna let someone push you around." No, let him do it. No, no, no. Don't listen to me. Just do what you want. No, 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 no. You don't want to be empowered. No, just keep, being the thing that keeps being fingered and like a little marionette. No, keep being fingered. Let me know when you've been fingered enough. God, and I thought he had it. Guess not. That's Lilith to me. Very passive aggressive, but still, that's a way of seduction and kind of making somebody think. I think I just messed up because she's saying that I made a mistake, but she's saying that I can do what I want. I think she's upset. You see, like how it makes those wheels turn, and how someone's imagination and thoughts just go, "Crap, I made a mistake." She's kind of disgusted. Exactly, because there are some people regarding like the necromancer stuff that pretty much say that it's kind of like going through a back door, and necromancy is not something that you can go through the back door and just bring up an army of the dead. If somebody who worked alongside Hell and they did that, she for one would probably just think, "Oh, you think you're hot shit, huh, kid? Well, guess what? Now none of the dead are going to listen to you." Because when it comes to, based on Norse mythology at least, Odin doesn't have the final say of the dead. Hel does. If she wants to, she can go to any Valkyrie that's taking a slain warrior. I think that's an Aaron jar. When the Valkyrie's taking that Aaron jar up into Valhalla, all that Hel has to do is just go, "Drop it." And then they might have to drop it. Really. Because she has the final say of the dead. But she doesn't do that. She doesn't abuse that, but she has the authority to. And Odin gave her that right. But still, having just the consideration in building a relationship first, that's much more noble. And believe it or not, if you actually go about it that way and actually properly invest and build something, you'll be quite surprised to actually see on the other side, all those entities will be more impressed and like, wow, this person is actually very considerate, takes his time, and knows how to negotiate, and knows how to be considerate instead of this twatted over in this area that just thinks he can do as he pleases and thinks he's hot crap. No. In fact, if somebody does go at things like that, thinking that they're hot and they can do as they please and being considerate, it's only a matter of time before a tragic slip happens. And if they fall and break their neck, well, sometimes you gotta learn your lessons that way. Backdoor to Gnosis, not boot. Exactly. And even then too, I don't like going through like being all sneaky. I like going at things in a way that's being mindful. Because whenever I'm in the cemetery, like if I'm visiting or anytime I'm in the cemetery, I have kind of a very strict set of guidelines that I have to follow. Like number one, I cannot step over a grave. I cannot do that. If I'm actually going to be going to a specific grave, I have to go like walking down left to right, not step over. If I step over, she's yelling at me, and the person that I'm stepping over, I'm pretty much degrading them by saying that I'm above them by stepping over them. I have to walk left to right, never stepping over the block, and most definitely not thinking it's a cute idea to sit on somebody's block or sitting anywhere near their side. That includes like a headstone. That's not something you sit on. That's not something you can just lounge on and just relax on. No, that's a no-no. Same with like mausoleums. I don't put my back on them. I don't lean on them at all because that's somebody's resting point. If I'm going to be leaning on somebody's space and their plaque, I'm pretty much not giving a crap about them and just silencing them and putting myself in front of them and suppressing them. That's not nice. Well, that's a good thing too because a lot of lessons that have been avoided. That's actually a really good thing to have avoided them and being shown that that could have happened to you. You could have broken your neck. But thank goodness you didn't come anywhere close to breaking your neck, because that would have been a shame. And even though, for me, Lilith is an entity that is, again, she does as she pleases, and there are some people that say, "Oh, I summoned Lilith. I conjured Lilith. I evoked her." You did what now? You evoked Lilith? That doesn't work. The closest you can get with her is you invite her. You invite her to come in. If she says no, or she doesn't respond, or doesn't appear, you invited her. And that's the farthest you can go. You can't be all like, "Oh, come on, woman, appear now." She'll come through and just, "Now what do you want me to do? Do you want me to lick your face too while I'm at it?" Mm-hmm. And Lilith is a divine that is very vengeful. I mean, look what happened to Adam. She assassinated. Yeah, that's what happened. Adam went off on his own, sat on a rock. Lilith was stalking him the whole time. And then as soon as he went unexpected, jumped on him. And she was the last thing he saw. True story. Yeah. Do you, by any chance, know where your Black Moon Lilith is placed? Because I have Black Moon Lilith in my Ascendant. And usually, at least on my experience, that's actually oh, well, she does like to pop in like, "I'm here. Wait, where'd you go?" But I mean, that's kind of in the way that she just likes to come in and be all like, "Well, what's he doing? Still being stupid?" Figured. In due time, he'll get it. Like a few days later, there he goes. Now he's not doing that stupid thing. Oh, I'm so proud. But I hope he takes that knife and stabs that guy. Please, please, please. He's a prick. Please, please. Yeah. That's a good thing because when Black Moon by over your head, meaning that transiting over your ascendant or the sign of Aries. Do you know like what her position is in your chart, and or you know what sign? Because mine is in the first house of Aquarius with my moon in retrograde Saturn. Yeah, that's quite a hot pass. Aquarius, moon, ascendant, retrograde Saturn, and Lilith right behind Saturn. But the good thing though, it's luck. I saw that. Fine, fine. Where is it? She wants me to talk about this. Her oil. Astronomically. Okay, I see. No, this is her oil. Oh. Well, because usually if you have Lilith in the first house, the fourth, the eighth, 10th, or 12th, based on my findings, that's actually one of the indications that she's more likely to choose you, if that makes sense. Now, this lovely thing. Let me just flip to the page. I have like the recipe of it because it's quite a lot. And I just said, okay, if you want me to make you an oil, just take control and then you put whatever you deem fit. And this is what she chose: olive oil and rosemary oil base with avocado and vitamin E. The crushed herbs are scarlet red rose petals, saffron, like the expensive thread, the red thread, that when you put it in water, it turns it to gold, makes water golden. No, not what you think, but yeah. You know, in the same way too, I kind of had the same thought too, except Lilith is altogether, at least for me, she's been doing a lot of that. Is he not be still stupid? Yeah, with me. Oh, is he smart yet? Nope, still stupid. How about now? How many years is it gonna take? How about now? Okay, he's watching a YouTube video about me, and it's about. Okay, I think he had the light bulb go off, and that's when I saw. Well, it's not up on YouTube anymore, but a friend of mine, Kendra, she made a YouTube video about Lilith, her first video. I watched that, and as soon as I watched it, I got up and I had to like go use the bathroom. Got up, went to use the bathroom, and just as soon as I turned to face the door, she popped up, just like finally, and it happened like in a second. And then I got a thought of like, why don't we, teach these little boys how to be real men? What do you say, sweetie? Something along those lines. I can't really remember word for word, but verbatim, that's what it was. And yeah, that's when she just started being all like, I think it's a little bit odd that, how God was the first sinner. I mean, heck, he is the one who advocated me to be raped by Adam, all because I said, sorry, I ain't gonna give it to you if it ain't gonna be like this. And it's just so sad that, a man has to rely on someone else to get gripped. That's how sassy she got. Then the next bit of the ingredients in that, and this oil is like, it pretty much, it has like a slight emberish burn feel to it. It's not like hot, hot, hot. It's like, talk about spicy and feisty, but it smells addicting. Go figure. Damiana's in it, juniper berry, because juniper berry is a plant that's about the abyss and going. And the Lilith is the same way, being able to just overkill something or get vengeance, because she, based Black Moon Lilith in astrology, she co-rules the sign of Scorpio, a sign alongside Mars, Pluto, K2, the South Node. Yeah, she's co-ruling Scorpio too. But she be that planet, Black Moon Lilith, she behaves different than like the other nodes in the moon, and those three are shadow planets. When she's with Moon, pretty much Lilith protects Moon, because without the Moon, Lilith doesn't exist. So it's like daughter going to protect mother. And I have that. Well, I'm not really close, but I have Moon and Lilith in the same house. So yeah, I've endured quite a lot of stuff that would make people go. And I mean, I've also gotten my vengeance on people by being like, oh, look at you. Still in the dumps, huh? It's okay. Me, now. Stop fangirling about me. Yeah, that's how I pretty much react to people when they try and troll me. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's still some more. And there's also hibiscus flower. And if you know how hibiscus is, it's a very, very lively flower and is very flirty, very exciting. Licorice root and calamus root. The two roots together for making, commanding bend over oil. Yeah, don't you? I would think, those would be the kind of deal like, I think we're going to do things my way, dear. Shh, we're going to do things my way, okay? Good. Yeah. And as well as cardamom and clove. Yeah, all those are feisty plants, but also kind of lively, flirty, and also saffron because well, saffron is expensive and can be a sign of royalty and only the best. The other essential oils in it is jasmine. Jasmine's a man intoxicator. Lavender because well, lavender was used by women a long time ago to actually kind of lull men towards them. Cassia. Now, cinnamon and cassia, even though they're similar, cassia is a tiny bit sweeter and cinnamon's more yangling. And yangling's a very flirty flower. More flirty than hibiscus. Hibiscus is more fun, while yangling's a little bit more, you know, nasty driven. Exotic sandalwood. That's another one. And violet oil. Violet. Like African violet. That's pretty much the big staple in it. And also, I have crystals in there too. I have garnet, some moonstone, kunzite, amethyst, and clear quartz in there. That's interesting having that lion be your MGM um, state of consciousness. That's like the extreme, like I'm the king set. And yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but see. Oh, I can just do this. Use my head. I really don't want you to get blinded, but yeah. See all that? Mm-hmm. And there's all the stones right there, the very bottom. Um, I don't. I mean, I could. What I'll do is I'll just type it in the chat. But the thing is, I don't know how much she put in. Pretty much, I just went into trance and I said, "Okay, Blue, you want to make that oil? Have at it. I'm just gonna let you do whatever you want to do." And the only thing that she said is, "Okay, here's what I put in it. How much did you put in?" I don't know. It's just in there. And the interesting thing about this oil, every time you smell it, after you shake it, or you smell it at a different time, the scent always changes. It always changes. I don't know why. Like at first, it was very spicy, and now it's very no, it's not that smell anymore. At first, it was spicy. Now it was well, it was kind of like a melon fruity, and now it's getting a little bit like anise. Now, now it smells like if it's violet. Well, like how she is the real one who wrote the art of seduction. That pretty much is seduction in a nutshell. Wait a minute, it's not like that. Wait, maybe it's this. I don't know what this could be. Wait, no, that's not it. Yeah, the mind just goes on a crazy like it could be this, it could be that. I don't know what it could be. It's something. Um, and depending on if you want to make it more of a, if you actually want to make it like how I have it, you would probably want to use, and I don't use mineral oil at all. The base is avocado with olive and rosemary and vitamin E, because all of those are preservatives, and this will be able to survive a nuke, if that makes sense. Not literally, but it'll have a long shelf life. Now it smells like marshmallows. Now it smells very sweet. Hey, I don't know. I just let her do as she likes to an extent. And actually, I'm gonna show if I could have a way of actually depicting Lilith. And if somebody's gonna be like, really, of all the things, something like that, a Yu-Gi-Oh monster? Well, if it's Lord Shiva, hi Shiva, but still, if I could depict Lilith, that's what she would look like that. Yeah. Um, I wouldn't put honey here, but honey is another preservative. But primarily, your base ones have to be able to preserve one another. But all the other ones, you can use the dry or just the oil if it exists. But yes, that's how I see love as. Just a woman in the dark that looks very charmed, simple, and you can kind of tell that I don't have her depicted as like a winged, like a bat-winged, suggestively dressed woman. Like, I just can't see her like that because when I picture someone or putting a divine like that, I'm kind of in a way saying that, well, you're just a piece of meat, and to me that just agitates me. Because she's a divine of empowerment first. Whoops. Oops. Luckily that was an empty bottle. And here is another interesting thing. I've had these flowers for her for like the past, how long? Let's see, probably 3 weeks. And they're carnations and strangely white daisies. These carnations are still alive. The ones the daisies came from, all of those white daisies are dead. This is the only white daisy that's still alive in the middle. But these carnations have been there for like the past 2 weeks, and they're still the same as when I got them. And they still smell fresh. So we now know maybe heck, purple carnations. Well, maybe that's her favorite kind. Especially this one. Like this one's just like oh, okay. I see what you're doing, Missy. Okay. You're saying them too much. Okay. Yes, I'll get you some more chocolate in a moment. If you couldn't figure it out, yes, I like to spoil her. That's actually very interesting because I never actually scribed the doll. Because one of the things that my mind tends to do too much when it comes to a doll that's just lifeless like that, I get the thought of like, oh, what if just out of nowhere the doll's gonna go like that? Actually, so. Purple. I mean, I haven't really had the connection with pink, Scarlet Widow, like dry mouth. Sorry, but this kind of a color, like how it's a very dark scarlet rose. I mean, in person it's much better, but like that scarlet red, yeah, that I think, oh, that is 100% Lilith right there. Oh, and purple. Mm-hmm. Because purple is that color of like, who's queen now? And what was I gonna say? Oh, I gotta let me just put all of that in the chat real quick, so that way you can copy and paste it. And that way I can do what I said I do. And also another thing that I've also noticed, she she likes poetry that is written in words that are not commonly used. Like I like to what the heck is, oh, that's my friend Crystal messaging me. But pretty, I love her to death too, and she also is of love too. But I call love the black swan because that sounds like black swan. Wow, that sounds unique, elegant, and mysterious. As when have you heard of a black swan? I haven't. And I think there's also a movie that shows a ballerina in black. Look at that. We now have a Lilith being a ballerina that, let's say, it's in the shadows. So, yes, I know you love it. And every time when I say that, you always compliment it. I know. Yes. And that's pretty much the big thing that I like to say and talk about. The true Lilith, not the one that's like how it's being pushed, being like how um, she's like a divine of the horrors. No. And I just hate it when people are like, well, she's the. No. No. What makes it more awkward is like, if you're going to go towards her, you have to give her respect. Well, one issue, you kind of didn't do that when, you just said what she is not. How can you say she expects respect when you can't even give it yourself, calling her vulgar names? I don't think somebody's really connected with that. That just says something, just be all like, put something right there. I'm just like, oh. And just saw something like right behind me. Like, okay, come on. Mm. Love him to death. And I'm not even upset because, yep, I told him, yep, if you want to come in and you're going to be good, then yes, you can come in. But if you misbehave, that's different. But see where's that bloody thing? Because I'm going to type this up before I forget. I don't know if anybody can hear that, but I can hear it clear as day. I mean, I'm hearing something. No, stop. That was on. But usually, yes. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Except the way that I the way that I got really connected with her. Okay, good. Thank you. I thought I was just picking up on something alone. It's like, am I crazy? A little bit, or am I picking up on something by myself? But okay, so let me just plop this in real quick because I'm not gonna forgive myself. And then if there's, I haven't even like typed a single word now, and I just look up. Oh, look who it is! Someone very, very mysterious and shrouded in shadows. Yep, is our lovely black swan. Now, as I was saying, if you guys want me to throw a card stock, or if you have any other questions at all, just feel free to just throw them at me. No matter if it's something just like, how do I tell this thing that won't, leave me alone? Well, simple. Just tell it to piss it. Stick it. Okay, I'm gonna type this out. And you don't have to use all of these. Because that's another weird thing. Because I was hearing that noise come from my right ear only. Now I'm hearing it again. Stop it. Stop it, milkshake. If you would be so kind to quit it. Okay. Now, you don't have to use all of these oils all together if you wouldn't like to. It's just those are the bases. You can use all of them, or you can just stick to one. It's up to you. And then the crushed herbs are rose, red. Well, just like any other interaction with like anybody else. Say like you have a best friend that you want to stay friends with, but you want to tell them that look, don't get me wrong, I enjoy your company, but sometimes you kind of a little bit too much. Because there's nothing wrong with bringing that to them and just saying that you're not being in a way that's supposed to be like criticizing them. No, you're going at it in a way that you appreciate their company and you want them to stay and you don't want to lose them as a entity that you're investing with, but informing them that how it is currently and how the interaction is, it's conflicting with your best, and that you want to try and negotiate a time to interact, but also make it considerate towards them. That way, it's keeping that open, if that makes sense. It's just like, if you're living with a roommate and somebody that you're roommating with has the music on too loud every every day at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And now you're supposed to be working early in the morning and you have to go to bed extremely early at 5 p.m. for example. But their music's up too high. So you have to tell them, look, turn the music down and no more after 4 because at 5 I have to go to sleep. Simple. You have to bring it to their awareness, but tell them that, look, I need this for me, so could you please adapt like how I'm trying to work things out with you because I don't want to lose you, but I need to be considered for my best. Not saying anything is going to completely make it worse and not best for you, if that makes sense. And like I've said earlier, treat them as if they were any other human being in front of you. Like a best friend, treat them the same way. Like it's like if any entity, just treat them as if they're sitting right next to you. Simple. Of course. I mean, if you feel you made a whoops, just admit it. Nothing bad will happen. In fact, they'll actually be responding in a way that's, this person is actually more respectful to admit they made a mistake. Even though there was no mistake, they actually show concerned that they're concerned that they did something that possibly offended me or caused harm to me in some way. That shows consideration. And usually, one of the best things you can give an entity on the other side or an astral entity altogether is being considerate and showing that you're keeping them in interest. That does much more than simply just leaving a plate of food in a spot. Mm-hmm. It's those little things that matter the most. Yeah, and I mean, pretty much all that I'm suggesting is like what my mentor taught me many moonsies ago. Um, okay, rose petals. If you don't, if you can't afford saffron, I mean, way you can use safflower if you like, but I would prefer saffron because saffron, yeah, makes water turn to gold. Not even kidding. Get yourself a piece of saffron and a little thing of water. Drop a saffron thread in there and watch what color it turns to. I'm dead serious. See. Um, and with the crushed herbs, I don't, I didn't actually use a lot of crushed herbs in this. I only used like a very minuscule pinch. And that oil changes scent like every time you smell it. So it's like, changes. Like a box of chocolate, but forever, you never know. Um, and if there is an essential oil of any of these, you can use that too. If you want to make it all just oil based and not have the plants in it, you can. That's all up to the person how you want to make this. This is. Whoops. And technically, if you deem fit, you can. What the heck? Something just like tickled my foot, and there's nothing there. It's like, oh, please, nothing. Don't let that be like that one little nasty that tried to hold my hand when I did a Ouija board. Please no. Because that thing got a selenite spike stabbed right through its hand. I thought it was going to be cute and slick to be all like, oh, I'm going to mess with him. I'm going to try and hold his hand. I'm all by myself. Just minding my own business, trying to figure out, okay, so this is how the board works. Okay. Something feels like it's trying to do this to my hand. Like that. Just trying to go, and I just go. Literally, I just slap my own hand like that. Go back like nothing happened. Happened again. Slapped again. And then I just had the thought of like, okay, if this thing does it again, I'm just going to grab the selenite pen, because it was like a long pen thing. If it does it again, I'm just going to go for it. I hope it doesn't do it, because if it does, it's going to really hate its life. Just doing my thing, and then I just feel that it's coming on again. And just right through the carpet. And kind of heard, like, in my mind's eye, something shriek. And I didn't care. And I just went back like if nothing ever happened. And as soon as I was finished, I just told it, like, why are you trying to hold my hand, dude? I don't even know you. Like, get this thing out of my hand. No, in fact, you can just sit there for a little bit and learn your lesson not to hold somebody's hand that you haven't even dated yet. And actually turned out to be a low-level entity. And I guess it thought it'd be cute to try and mess with me, even though I was just trying to learn how the board works and get a feel for it. But I mean, I've had instances where it's been a little too much. but that's been few and far in between. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always a moment when there's going to be something bigger and stronger than you. And I've been in those situations, but why you gotta be messing with this stuff? Stop knocking things over, dude. I have like a feather standing up behind, like behind the iPad. It was just chilling next to this little box that has my selenite in it, and that feather just went like, okay. Ah, I have to say, if I was if I was present with you and that happened to you, if that happened and if you told me, I think somebody just did that to me, I would literally just snap and be like, okay, who's the one who did it? Come on, fess up. I mean, if you're gonna think it's okay to violate someone like that, well, where are you, Cupcake? I think it's your turn, to have that donkey of yours. Because believe me, I get feisty. 11? No. That pisses me. I'm sorry. That really pisses me off because it makes me think like, okay, entity on the other side who did this. It makes me think. I wonder how old you are. None of that. Really? Don't push me, Cupcake. I'm pretty much on live feed right now. You ain't gonna like it, and I'll make sure that everybody looks at you and think, "Wow, what a dummy." Don't push me. Thank you. Hmm. Anything rude? But anyway, I should have finished that. But yeah, I would actually ask it. So, why are you violating a child? You're how old? I would pretty much assume since you're on the other side, probably older than her and everybody else that walks this planet. Don't you think you'd be mature by now? I would hope so. Not? You're not? You still do that? Wow, that's pathetic. A good way to banish entity. It's simple. If it's in your space, your home, or your vicinity where you reside in, technically, and I'm going to use technicalities with it, it's your space, it's yours, you own it, it's your boundary. Since it's yours, you have the say what happens, not them. And even heck, if they just waltz in, it's just like if somebody's just coming into your house willy nilly and thinking they can just do that. I don't know about you, but if someone came into my room right now and I don't even know them, I would just say, Cupcake, who are you? You're not supposed to do that. You better scoot your tush before I get, this beating stick and hit you upside the head with it. Mm-hmm. You have to just be all like, dude, what makes you think you can just waltz into my space like that without even knocking or being, considerate? Treat them the same way. Don't be afraid to be all like, dude, don't you know that you're supposed to ask permission before you step into somebody's space? I mean, that's kind of common courtesy. Don't be afraid to get feisty with it, especially if it gets pushy. That's when you just remind it, like, um, my space, dude, not yours, because legally or whatever terms you have that are saying that you can actually reside there, you can hit it upside the head with it. Well, not literally, but metaphorically, you can just be like, well, legally, it says that I can be here, and I'm on the lease. You aren't on the lease. Scram. Mm-hmm. Because what that'll do, it'll pin it against the wall where it has no choice but it has to leave. It has to. That's the real power with actually using mental alchemy like that. You can take something in a situation and just completely flip it like nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's why also with man's law and alchemy, they're identical, but one's flawed. Man's law. That's the flaw. Because through technicality, you can weasel your way out of anything. Oh, that just really irks me because it makes me think, wow, guys, what is this, the Jackass Spirit Club? To think it's cute to, bother somebody who's not even bothering you? Guys, come on, dude. Wow, okay. I would have thought, people that have been, that have gone to the other side or the entities like that, I would have thought, they would be more mature, but I guess not. Oh, don't get feisty. Don't get feisty, honey. No, you're doing. No, you're doing. Honey bear. Sorry, didn't mean you on there. Beggar. Really, that's pretty much how I react to anything acting out of line. I just tell straight up. Oh, you think you're hot? You think you're hot? Really? Oh, I'm sorry. I was falling asleep. Oh, he was saying something? Yeah. That's how I respond if something thinks it can just be out of line and cause havoc. I haven't worked with ISIS, so I can't really give ideas about that. So I'm not really. The only thing that I can suggest is the same. I can't really suggest like specifics, but I can say just a. One of them just moved like right next to my little grid that I have set up over here. Get away from it, please. Thank you. Hmm. Anyway, so I was saying, just I would go towards it like any other entity that you're going towards for the first time. Approach, invite it, invite the entity, and if they agree, just ask them if you approve working alongside me or investing with one another. Would you be so kind to give me some sort of confirmation within the next 24 hours or time period that you decide? Like you can decide how long within a time period. If they give you a sign or a signal of saying a yes, like something related, way it's more open and it kind of gives them time to respond. For me, I've done it for maximum 48 hours. It gives them enough time to actually think it over and respond. If that makes sense. Well, yeah, but that's a really higher state of awareness You're in. But still, I mean, it was spirit knows not to. I mean, I would assume that somebody has had lifetimes prior. I think they would have learned the lesson to not harass someone. And it's not cute to prey on a child. I'm just saying. Because I mean, if someone is gonna like, if somebody is gonna be picking on a child and taking on and like harming a child and going at a child, wow. I mean, why don't they pick on someone a little bit more of a challenge? And yes, I just taunted them. So what? But still, it's not. It's still kind of pathetic, regardless if it's a spirit divine human, don't matter. If a child's well being is in danger, it don't matter what it is, it's disgusting. And I think it needs to have a belt upside the face. And it's just, to me, it's just disgusting. Why would you take advantage or swing at a child? But yes, having the awareness that you can react to anything is like the core to how you can actually technically bamboozle out of anything. Like how I said a long time ago, how people could, try and put a curse on me or try and influence me. Okay, well, using the art of bamboozling, because that's what I like to call it. See here. So somebody is going to try and throw a curse on me. Okay. So since I'm in control of myself, this is my body, this is my life, I'm looking through my eyes. All the senses are coming from me. I have the final say what happens. That person cursing me. Nah, not feeling it. Nah, I don't want it. Just like that, completely disarmed it. Because since I have the final say of what happens, am I gonna get cursed? Nah, not feeling it. Back here, never back. No, I cannot accept your curse. I'm sorry. Flattered, but no. Like if somebody's trying to give you something, you don't have to take. You don't have to accept any gift. You don't have to. Same thing. Curse, curse. Nah, no. Generation curse. You want to know probably the best way to completely disarm that? Simple. Mm. You just make a simple sigil that's purposely meant to only target and affect that curse to make all the malefic and the toxic and the energy that's negative in it. No matter what it does, all that the curse can do now is be filtered out to only affect in a positive way. I'm dead serious. This is what only that sigil is meant to do. Anything negative that that curse puts in gets flipped into positivity. And the advantage of doing that is that the curse or hex or any kind of, or even like a malefic servitor that gets sent out to swing at you, no matter what it does, it'll keep pushing and doing what it was programmed or told to do. And it's only doing what it's told to do. It's not aware that it's being flipped. It doesn't have the awareness because it only knows how to cause damage. But with this, it's swinging, but instead of it going, the victim going down, they're going up. Yeah, it's just completely bamboozling. And the funny thing is that the person who put that on you, they're going to be all like, what the heck is going on here? I thought I cursed him. How come he's now a millionaire? How come he's married now? How come he's just driving down the road in a Ferrari that he didn't even have to buy? It was just handed to him. Brand new off the lot for some reason. Mm-hmm. And that's how good and how overpowered this can be. Because the thing is that you're deciding that for me, even though I'm cursed, whatever, and instead of fighting it, I'm just going to let it do its thing, but with a twist. Really. Okay, I'll take the curse, fine, but with one little slip. Now, no matter what happens, it'll still curse me to oblivion. But alas, even though I'm in oblivion, I shall be surrounded by nothing but gold, wealth, and luxury. Flip. And the thing is that most of the time people are like, well, we got to break this curse. Well, instead of fighting and like trying to disarm it and destroy it, let it have it. Work with it. Let it do its thing, but outplay it. And the funny thing is that it's really just like using the art of alchemy, the alchemical process, taking something from one state to another. That's all you're doing. You're taking something that's in a one state, you're flipping it. And even, let's see, what's another good example? Well, this one is a little bit this one you can do a lot of damage to, and it's something that you have to be careful with because this kind of working, technically, you can't. Essentially, there's no protection that exists. Don't you hiss in my ear. Anyway, this kind of a working, like I said, it completely bypasses protections because it doesn't come this way. It doesn't go outward. It does the opposite. It goes inward, outward, not outward, inward. But in a way, you can also use the same thing to actually help support someone. It's quite simple. Just need a poppin', stuff it with whatever you deem fit, and pretty much write on the piece of paper whatever you want them to now have be circulating within. Like for an example, say if somebody's suffering with a mental disorder, and I've actually done this. I've done this. And that pop-it that I've actually done this for my partner, he actually went through all that. Schizophrenia, psychological disorders, bipolar, PTSD, yeah, all of that. This thing that I did, after some time, instant cure. Does not even have it anymore. I'm dead serious. So in the poppin, I wrote down any form of mental impairment, such as, and I knew his diagnosis in my head, wrote down the diagnosis right there, and pretty much I wrote it in a way, I can't remember exactly how I put it. Pretty much, I wrote in a way that from this point onward, the way that like how his blood circulates, he will be, it'll be circulated within his being a complete clarity and able to see things that are real and pretty much not be blinded by illusions and any kind of mental impairment. It was something to that effect. I can't really remember, but the thing is that with a poppet, until you actually baptize that poppet as an individual, that thing is nothing. You see where I'm going with this? You put the intention or what you want them to be with, stuck with. You put that in the poppet, seal it up. As soon as you baptize that doll as insert person, it takes a hold like that. It goes so fast that nothing even is able to stop it because it's like, how do I put this? Best way I got it. If anybody knows what Kirby is, the little pink guy that likes to eat everything, or even better yet, how in Super Smash Brothers, I guess is a weird example. Wario and Kirby, they can open their mouth and you can throw a bomb in there, like that. You throw like the bomb goes, explodes within. It takes a hold within. It goes out. It goes inward. It starts inward and it goes outward. And the protections are outward. You can't defend that. You can't defend this because as soon as you are finished baptizing the doll, that's them. And that intent is now in them. You can't get rid of it. I mean, you can. There's two ways. You can dismantle the doll. And then there's the other way, which you. Let's just say you have to cut a part of your astral body off, and that is painful. But that's the only other way you can get rid of it. So like I said, you can actually make someone be completely immune to somebody else's magic. Mm-hmm. Like if somebody is nonstop trying to bring you down, just pretty much make a doll of yourself and put the intent saying that no matter what happens from this individual, nothing will happen to me from what they do, be it benefic or malefic. They cannot influence me in any way. And in fact, that's also another intent that I put on my partner's paper that's in his doll in this chest. Essentially, anybody in the world can throw magic at him. It won't work because, I mean, that same doll has been in the same spot, in the same chest, in the same way for years. Nothing has happened to him. Every time when someone's done something, bounces right off. Doesn't even affect him. That's how powerful and potent this can be. So be careful with it. That's like my little guest free gift. Use it to your liking and don't try and think, okay, let's see how it affects Brendan. Let's see what happens. Don't do that, please don't. Um, yeah, actually, yeah. When having somebody with multiple personality disorders by talking, yeah, people that have those conditions, they're way more influent. They're more easier to influence. If that makes sense, because their mind is more pliable and is more easy to maneuver with. Yeah, baptizing the doll. Yeah, that's a foolproof way of going from like I need to have some way to make this person be able to not stop this. But in the doll, this is now them. Let's just say there is one thing that I can say that's also prevalent. There's this one guy that's kind of a hooch that tried to become a relationship wrecker between mine and me, and he would not piss it. So I just straight up told him, okay, piss it, kid. And if you keep coming back, sometime down the line, I'm just going to just say, listen, kid, if you come anywhere near me or cross my sight or senses at all, hex on the spot. Piss it. That was the second time. Came back around again. I just told him, look, kid, you come back again, you're going to wish you never want to see me again, and you're going to have to wish that I never see an image of you or even hear you. So, please, go. Did he listen? Of course not. Men like that don't listen. Cross vision, hexed. And it's been like that ever since I see him. Every time I see him, instant hex. It's like automatic. Because of that, whenever he's, come back again or done something, well, let me just share a dean's list of what's happened. First time convicted of Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. Number two, family that he was living with dispersed throughout the country. Third time, domestic violence. 4 times convicted. And I'm not stopping there. There's a lot more. Gets a tattoo. And one of the words is misspelled. Heartache instead of heartache. And the way that it's written in the tattoo, he has to butcher it in order to fix it. Don't look at me. I wasn't the one who was trying to stick it with the thing that big and also, use my can up in her face to make a mess. I wasn't the idiot. I didn't mean to be feisty and sassy like that, but true. um, I've, regarding like the nasty magic, if you know what I mean, I haven't because that kind of magic, or like, yeah, it's like I heard that. Tantra, I haven't done. I haven't done that kind of magic, but I mean, because when in that kind of type of magic, I need to have somebody else to help me, and he's not in the same state as me right now, so it's like I really don't know. But the thing is that it's one of the most potent ways of actually pushing and like an intended energy out, because that like the it just feels so weird to me to saying it. When having the big O, if you know what I mean. That moment that pushes life into the world. So if you're using that energy to actually push out and intend, well, the energy that makes something come to life. Well, there you go. There. Yes, sex magic isn't misunderstood. I mean, I can't really say much because I have not really done it enough or at all. So I mean, all that I know is that it's very potent. Mm-hmm. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we're all ladies here. At least with him, I mean, let's just say, at least, let's just say here and stuff. You had a message deleted? Anyway, this is the same girl I was really interrupted by the same thing that's been making noise behind my back, literally. Maybe I should just start going ahead with one of these. Like, message deleted. Why? Why did it do that? Was it probably, oh, that's offensive? Um, it's only offensive if you just, are still operating from a viewpoint that is weak. Because for me, I'm near impossible to offend. Literally. Someone can call me a fag dick licker, and I'll be like, well, no shit, are you new here? I mean, if that's the case, well, I mean, hell is right over there. I don't know. Alright, maybe that might help. There she is. Yeah, hell's down there. But anyway, what was I going on about? Yeah, well, I mean, between my partner and I mean, I'm someone who's like, I'm not sticking it elsewhere and I'm not, catching nothing. Literally, like, actually, nope. Mm-mm. I have to have an emotional attachment to somebody. If that doesn't happen, sorry. You ain't sticking me and I ain't sticking you. Don't even try, because I'll stab you. If you're going to be doing shamanic work, well, the only thing about like being gypsy is that gypsy are people that don't really have like a how do I put this? They don't really have an origin place, so it's kind of very difficult to say. But shamanic is merely connecting with nature and like the elemental forces, if that makes sense. It's connecting to the like nature and like the spirits of the land, if that makes sense. Like how there is American Native and how they do their tribal dances and stuff like that. Kind of also somewhat the same, like um, what was that called? I just had I lost it. But like American Native and how they have like their animal spirits and totems. That's kind of the same idea. If that makes sense. The only issue with gypsy is that gypsies, their origin, it's hard to say, if that makes sense. And right now I just have something saying like, and even also, I mean, you didn't hear this from me, but I heard from a bird that there's a reason why some things are called gateway intoxicants. I'm saying that so that way, somebody won't be like, oh, he's gonna get a strike with. Because the idea of taking something in, being intoxicated, your perspective changes. And, and actually, it can be anything. Even something as simple as Mountain Dew, literally. You're intaking something, now your perspective changes. You go from a state of thirst, I hope you're not thirsty no more. And now so you're a little bit hyper because this thing has how much sugar? 77. Wow, they kind of picked it up a little bit more. Yeah, a few more grams. Oh well. Well, good thing about real sugar, it's not that fake sugar. Daughter. I haven't heard that word before, so I'm not really sure. But there are. It's pretty difficult because how do I put this? Because there are some people that take what's that called? DMT, I think that's what it's called. I mean, I have nothing. But there are some people that actually use those, and they've actually gone to a place where they haven't come back metaphorically, and they've never been the same. And yeah, that's how dangerous that stuff can be. And I mean, I can't count the times that I've actually was with somebody who actually did take something like that, and they were just lost. The only thing that really you can do is just have your hand there and kind of just let them know that the hand's there if they need to get grounded again, so that way they can just. And I had a friend who actually did, decide to do acid. He was freaking out, just held my hand out there, and he's like, "What is that for? What is that gonna do? If you need it, just grab my hand and grip it as hard as you can. You sure? Mm-hmm. But whenever you need it, don't worry about if you're gonna break my hand. Just grab it and squeeze as tight as you can." A few minutes later, literally, it felt like he was crushing my hand, and I have baby hands. These are tiny, completely like my hand, and just completely was like crushing it. Didn't flinch, just sat there. And then he was able to come back, calm down. Mm. You ever belladonna? She's a very, let's just say she's very, 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 very. I'm going to use the word sassy. Yeah. Mm. I'm just going to get. Holy crap! It's 1:10 in the morning. No. Wow. Time flies when you're, you know, having fun. I guess. Well, can I do better than sassy? Well, see here. Relentless. Relentless is a little bit more like lack of self control. Because when I hear belladonna, I think of an energy that's very, um, kind of like an aristocrat vampire. But the thing is that she also has a little dagger that has death like imbued in it. You say the wrong thing, kind of like that. A vampire mistress that has a little dagger of death. That if you say the wrong thing, she'll take you out, and not like take you out to dinner, like take you out as in out. So, this is going to really help my watch time up, hopefully. Um, I'll stay alive for like another 19 minutes, and then I'm probably gonna have to hit the hay because I'm getting a little tired. But would anybody like, yeah, way better than Sassy's like, oh, an aristocrat vampire, so elegant and so beautiful, but she has a dagger behind the cloak. I don't know. I just have a way with describing a plant, like how I say that oregano is like a anti-BS sage that you know doesn't want anything because it's an antibiotic, anti-inflammatory, anti-everything, anti-BS. No, feisty little thing. So by any chance, would anyone want card stock at all after the next 15 minutes? Yeah, I might go when I please, I guess. Well, it's just this is actually like a long while ago when my mentor passed away back in 2010. Part of the thing that I wanted to do is actually be able to keep his spirit alive by just doing this. But I also do, since this is like my area of expertise, I mean, I do want to somehow make this kind of like a living and kind of supporting myself with it because I can talk about this stuff like 24/7 and not be tired of it. So YouTube, check please. No. But funny enough, just how my astrology chart's laid out, I'm more active at night. When the sun's out, I get agitated. The sunlight hits me, I get mad. I'm not a vampire. Besides, fine. I'm one of those magical vampires that goes, I'm gonna suck you instead of blood. Whatever. And yes, that's a joke I came up with for myself. Okay. Whatever that thing is, just tell it, dude, why are you being a fangirl? Why are you stalking me? Do you want an autograph? Because, wow, I didn't know I had such a big fan base. And you must be my biggest fan. That's what they always say. God, this is the only bad part about being famous. You have fanboys and fangirls stalking you, especially when they get really close, like outside your door. That's kind of the most pathetic kind, because you're like, notice me, please. You're like my favorite human to harass. Please notice me. And yes, in a way, I'm kind of mocking it. Like, wow. Of all the things it can do, it's trying to be, she doesn't hear me. Why don't you do something productive, dude, instead of trying to be like a secret, ghostly man? Come on, whatever you are. Do something more productive with your astral self. I'm just saying. Don't know about you, but if I was an astral spirit, I think, I'd be doing something more productive instead of harassing someone. But that's none of my business. Dealt with it for several weeks? Why? Why is it doing that to you? Don't be afraid to get feisty with it. Like, why are you stalking me, dude? Is there something you want? Because usually, if you're this infatuated with someone, don't you think, you might have a problem? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having such absolute awe and appreciation for something, but you have to let it breathe. You have to step back from it because if you pretty much cover it like that, you're going to suffocate it and then it's going to be dead. And then you won't be able to, stalk it anymore. Do something else. That's all I have to say. It's like a flower. If you want to appreciate a flower, you don't pick it. Because when you pick it, it kicks the bucket. And then you get sad. And I mean, I'm just gonna giggle like if all of a sudden, oh, stuff's happening to me. Oh crap! Now I got the fanboy. Oh, well, it happens. Anyway, would anybody like cardstock thrown? If so, pick a number between 1 and 3. Just say your number, and if you want the daemons or the dark goddesses, just say so. Because there it is. I'll stay live for another 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna hit the tape. So, is it gonna delay? Mm-hmm. And actually, deeper down, what he was also doing, he was also giving you an idea of like, look, this is how some people live. They don't have any consideration of anybody else, and they take their waste and completely pollute the world and make it worse for everybody else. This is like how disgusting humans can be. They don't appreciate the ground they walk on or their environment. They don't appreciate it because if they did, they wouldn't throw their waste on it like that. They would put it in the trash where it's supposed to go, away so that other like life can grow in, like plants, trees, animals can nest. Because if the humans that you know did that BS, if they did appreciate it, they wouldn't have done that. Oh, where'd that crack? Mm. Yep, and again, just tell it straight up like Honey Bear. Stop fangirling about me. Jeez. You're like a. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will make this really mad. Just tell it, you know, you kind of remind me of a certain type of like fan base. Like those young fangirls called the girls that cut for Bieber. Could you be like one of them, please? Except slash yourselves and you stop moving. That'd be the best kind of fan twat had to be. But hey, on the good side, it's like you're willing to slash yourself for me. You're willing to make yourself kick the bucket for me. That'd be really sweet. Now watch that thing just go. Whoops. But hey, you did learn that lesson of like, well, now I know how to appreciate and take care of and preserve it rather than pollute it like other inconsiderate people. And don't. Yep, and I mean, I know that was a dark joke, and I know probably it might make people go, that's a little mean, don't you think? Well, um, Angelic is being harassed by an entity like an over obsessive fan girl or fanboy. I think, if they really want to be the ultimate fan, they should do one of those things. Just harm itself to the point where it falls over and it dissipates. That's the real fan, because after that, The ultimate fan has ended, literally. And then she's at peace. Oh, I guess he's not the biggest fan because he's not willing to do that. Oh well. That was perfect. Bieber demons. That was beautiful. A three, a dark goddess. Okay. Three. We'll go with one. Okay. So where is my? Oh, I know. There's that one. And we will go with where'd it go? Oh, right in front of my face. The Heaven or Hell Tarot with the Dark Goddesses. Okay. So, what area of life would you like me to look into? Like, love life, work, um, hobby, like something regarding school, intelligence, anything spiritual, progress, name it, anything. Yes. Is you know why he's not responding? I know why. It's because he can't fight back. Because he's pinned in a corner. That entity is just sitting there. He can't say anything because I pushed him and backed him against the wall. He can't argue with it, and if he does, he's gonna look stupid. Okay. Yep. And after that, shadow will be the last one. So I'm only gonna do. Okay. The way that I go about using the dark goddess oracle goes like this. I pull 3 cards from here. Only 3, no more or less. The first one that comes out is the pretty much the goddess in power, and that's the one that is essentially being all fine. That's the one that's in power, or the one that is the most prevalent in your life. Her theme is essentially what's really driving you forward, and pretty much she's the one that's most in tune with you, if that makes sense. The second one is the one that you must seek out or you must get counsel from, if that makes sense. Essentially, you have to take on the lessons that she's teaching you, or like her energy and the whatnot. The third one is probably the funniest one that gets pulled. That's the one that says, please don't forget this. Don't forget this lesson, honey, because if you do, we're not in a good spot. Okay. Goddess in power. Lilith. Well, couldn't do that again if I tried. So Lilith, as the goddess in power, her word is equality, but we're going to be taking that for a twist. Right now, regarding your spiritual progress, it's a time that you have to make sure that your spiritual needs and well-being and you are being given justice. And you need to be considered more. And whoever is not allowing you to be your true self, they can be their true self. Mm-mm. That's not good. Essentially, the idea with having Lilith in power is getting the whole idea of like, look, kid, I can do what I like, just like how you can do what you like. You don't like it? God forbid. God forbid he doesn't like me being myself. Go away. Because you have the right to express yourself how you deem fit. Nobody has to like him. They have to deal with it. And if you're not, obviously going at people's throats, okay, then you're allowed to do as you please. And if somebody doesn't like it, well, that's not your problem. Lois is in power. Do as you please, and bonus points if you make them cry. The one you must seek out. How do you pronounce that? Flummock for envy. Now, in this, you have to be careful. You have to seek out contentment. Because I believe the tale of Flummock is that she got jealous and tried to put a curse on someone, and then she ended up getting killed because of her envy possessing her. Find contentment in find contentment within your true self. Again, there's nothing anybody else can do for you except you. You can give yourself the best. And if you know you can give yourself the best and only you can do it, what is there to be jealous about? If somebody's being all like, oh, look what I got, you don't got it. I don't want it. So why are you trying to make me jealous? If I wanted it, I'd have it by now. So make sure that you don't be envious and saying, I wish I could have that. Don't say you wish you can have it. Because instead say, I've already got that. Fine, I'll take another one, I guess. That's how you trick it. Just make sure that you always are content. But if something wants to come back around for another, like a second giving of a bonus check of work, like if you're trying to, let's say if you put in more hours at work, but for some reason they paid you double and they haven't caught it and they won't catch it, if they're gonna give it to you, okay. But not saying like, I wish I had more money. Oh, look at that. I got double for some reason. Oh well, it happens. Oh, what do you mean the books are off? Oh, well, not my problem. I'm the employee. I got paid. Hey, it's not my business. It's your guys'. You can fix it. This deck is the Dark Goddess Oracle. It, I love it, except I do not like how they depicted hell. It's like hell's not even split down the middle of having being in light and in shadow. So it's like okay, close but no cigar. I mean, I just tell Lilith like, honey, if you want to just come through and speak, you're free to do so. Just you know, don't be too wild. But then again, what's too wild? See? And now the one you mustn't forget is, how in the heck do you pronounce that? Isbental for purification. Okay. In power again, Lilith, stick up for you. And if somebody doesn't like you sticking up for you, oh well, life sucks, hon. Piss them. Away with them. Oh well. If they don't like it, they can fix it themselves. If they're upset because you're going higher than them, last I checked, you're the one that doesn't have the problem. No. That's who's in power, pushing you to give yourself what's deserved. Another one. Don't be jealous of anybody and seek out contentment within self, because again, you're the one who can give yourself the best. So if that's the case, why be jealous of anything else or anybody else if you're the one who gives you the best all the time? Don't forget, once you have surpassed this and purified it, it's gone for good. Purification, that's what it is. It's taking something that's tainted or like an obstacle, a state of not being in the best state yourself, and having to find a way to find contentment. But once you get that contentment and you're in your power, it's purified. And once it's purified, it doesn't have the BS in it anymore. And you're in this state of perfect alignment. The true love. Okay, now the deck I'm going to use heaven or hell to roll. I'm going to pull 3. Just like the goddesses. And this is a good omen because, funny enough, my tarot card is at the bottom. Queen of Cups. That's a sign that somebody's higher self is coming into play. This thing. That happens. She is. In fact, she's so good that she actually tricked God into making the earth and Eden. I'm not even kidding. She's like, ah, I'm finally out of that void. Ah, now where am I? Who is that? I must have her. Who are you, dude? I must have her. You're so beautiful. And it looks like you haven't, taken care of your beard. It's all tangled, old man. I'm not interested, dude. Go away. How am I gonna get her? I must have her. 5, like, however long it takes in order to get to this point. Okay, whatever your name is, Yawa? Yahoo? I'll tell you what. If you can make me like a planet or just some beautiful place and make it as lavish as you can be and have it with all these things, I'll give you a chance. Really? Mm-hmm. But you have to make it like I said. Okay. As soon as God was done making it all, he was going back towards the wolf, and all that she said was, "Oh, you did it? Yeah, I did it, so I can have you as my queen, right? Bye." Deuced. Just, just pretty much tricked him, and then she took off right down to Eden. She tricked him into making the world so that way she can get away from him. Gotcha. Yep. And really, that's like the original story. She came from the void or chaos. God was like, I must have this beautiful, flawless woman. She was not impressed, so she's like, okay, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get away from this fanboy. You know what? Why don't you make me a beautiful world? Just make it as beautiful as you can. Little did he know that he's expecting a treat, but joke's on him. The real treat is her getting away from him. Mm-hmm. To me, I'm never gonna get over it because it's just like, God, if you're gonna be upset because you got tricked and she got away from you, it's okay. In fact, that kind of seems to be a recurring thing with men being rejected. That if they get rejected by a woman that they want and have hoochie hoochies for, they go to crazy extents to try and get them. They kind of like trying to be vengeful on them by saying that they have to submit. That didn't work because his other, his perfect creation, Adam and Eve, got poisoned with sin. Lilith doesn't have sin in her. She's immortal. Whoops. Did I just spill the beans? Oh, well, it happens. They shouldn't have altered the book then. Okay. First card is He Who Sung Most, the Hangman. So just like not that one, this one. So just like with Lovely Lilith, right now it's like a situation where you're stuck. You're almost sacrificing your highest self. You have to fight for yourself and be like, look, I'm in a predicament, but the thing about the hangman is this. When you have someone upside down like that, flip it into a different perspective. Now he can actually see what's unseen. So if you're in a position where you can't think clearly, change your perspective. And now he's actually standing, kind of in a glee way. But the same thing, like regarding yourself and fighting for yourself. And even though he's hung upside down like that, By the way, who was somebody who said about Isis? Did somebody mention Isis? There's an Ankh right there, and if you take a look, there's wings. And Isis is depicted with wings like that. There's some wings and an Ankh. I rest my case. So find your inner. Oh, it happens, but still. Just change your perspective and then look at that. Your feet grow the wings to fly and run out of this situation as fast as possible. You take flight, you go and rise above. You see the Ankh? Flip it. There's the Ankh right there, right at the toesies. Well, I just see all the entities and divines as unique. Yeah, he does have wings. He must like Red Bull. I mean, I like. I mean, fine, I admit it. I like taurine too. So what? Yeah, my other half's a Taurus. So what? I had to get my taurine else. I had to get my taurine somehow. Oh, we're all ladies here. Come on, kind of. The next one to come out is the King of Wands. This is a card that I like to say, oh, is that Lucifer? It kind of looks like it. That's how I would say he's depicted. And by the way, do you happen to see the sun behind his head? That happens to be a symbol of enlightenment. And the thing is, again with envy and knowing that your true power comes in within yourself and that you can satisfy yourself, I need to change my perspective and know that I'm the one with all the power. King of Wands is a fire with fire. Talk about being flaming and flamboyant. Mm. So the King of Wands is again a king that's fire and fire. He's in his own element. He knows that he can get what he wants by just like that. So again, it's still coming through the same thing. Even though you're in a position where you're not being treated fairly, put on your crown, get your beating stick, and say, I need this now for me. And if you don't like it, too bad. You don't have to like it. That wasn't the point. The point is that this is how it's going to be. But really, if this was like the Queen of Wands, yeah, it could be a little bit more cheery. But the Queen of Wands is a queen that's like, give me what I want, please. Because if you don't, let's just say nobody tells the Queen no. Because when in history has there ever been a good time when somebody said no to the Queen? I can't recall. Because every time that someone said no to a queen, they kind of got, their neck cut off. And yeah, that's what I'm getting so far. Also, fire purifies too. And we both have. As I say, we both have both those cards have a Mars energy because fire is a Mars element, and the Hangman sometimes is Scorpio. I don't think it's Pisces, but still. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Didn't I speak earlier, like many months ago, about Mars and Pisces? Interesting. Well, not really. Not really difficult to really satisfy Queen. Pretty much all you have to do is provide security and compliment and encourage her to express herself however she deems fit and kind of get her excited to actually express herself. Because if we can do that, Believe me, it's deceptively simple. But then again, I'm just a flamer, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Fine, I'll do that. Then the last one to come out. Don't be that thick. I mean, a lot of times I've actually had some of my friends be like, Brendan, I need your opinion on something. Let me guess. Is it happening to involve your girl? Yeah, how'd you know? Because it kind of looks like you're frustrated, if you catch my drift. And then I guess she's telling you no. Are you doing this thing called listening? Because most of the time, they don't want to have you solve the problem. They want you just to listen and provide that security. If you can do that, you're good. Stop trying to think it has to be something that's fixed. Just and then last card, the Fool. The card of infinite potential. Take it from the tip top. Oh, it's Emily. Let me just click on this thing real quick. There we go. Anyway. Oh, well, actually, you know what's fine? All these cards just sync so beautifully together. The Love and the Hangman. You're in a situation that you need to fend for yourself. Stand up, tell it to off. And if it gets hurt, oh, life sucks. If you're in a state of suffering and they're not, that's BS. Put your crown on and know that you can satisfy you. And let your ember and fire burn. And if they can't handle the flaming, it's okay. It's kind of hard to handle the the ones that are magical like I am. It can be hard and kind of obnoxious at times, but hey, we are forever flaming. Just make sure your passion is strong enough that you know you can satisfy you. And then afterwards, you'll become the Fool and have infinite potential and be completely pure. Because 0 is a number that keeps going. It's infinite and it has unlimited potential. It's not tainted. Because once you take charge of you 100%, you're completely pure. And having a 0 be also the number of spirit, and the Fool is the pure spirit. Bam. Purified, infinite potential, and spirituality. There we go. Well, there's a reason why I'm called He Who Flames Most. Except I don't have any fire in my chart, funny enough. Yes, so, who was the other one? Who was the other one person that I said I'd read for? And also, in case if there's somebody that wants to know, super chats are not enabled because I don't have the watch time, but if you deem fit to throw money at me, PayPal link is below. I don't ask people to, if they want to, yay, if not, it is what it is. You're not going to be making loud bang noises. Piss it. Thank you. Sorry. I heard a little behind me, like. Well, practical alchemy is like chemistry. Yeah, I know there's another person, but I can't remember who the other person was. Was it what's her name? Was it Angelic? Because if it was, I only did one. I only did one at a time. I can't do multiple. So who was the next person? Was it Shadow? I can't remember. Well, Brandon, if you just scroll up at the top, you'll be able to see who the other person was. I'm a natural blonde, okay? That's why I dyed my hair when I was a kid. Well, kind of still am. Okay, it was. Where is she? It was Shadow. Okay. Okay, there we go. Kinky. Oh, not kinky, but you get the idea. So, Shadow. Okay, I'll go with a different deck. Do you want the goddesses or do you want the daemons? Whichever one you deem fit. Yeah, spirits love glitching me a bit too much. Especially if you were here earlier, Emily, you'd be like, wow, he's trying so hard not to, swing at them right now. And it's true. But then again, I don't swing at anybody unless they try and swing it at me and they get an anvil drop on my head. Okay, goddesses and whatever comes through. Kinky. Um, the computer's almost died twice? Wow. I think probably it must be something like the Abrahamic forces, like, we must not let this person, know the truth from this guy. We must stop him. Nope. Nah, piss it. Don't you guys have sheep to stroke? Why don't you guys just start stroking your sheep? Your blind sheep. Well, let's black sheep have fun. Rip. And also, in case if it, did I did I put it in the comments, like in the live chat? If I didn't, I'll put it in the comments later. If I didn't put it in there, and I apologize. So, dark goddesses, and you know what? I'm gonna use my other. We'll go with yeah. Let's have fun with it. We will use the erotic fantasy to row. Row, ladies, will you trust me? By any chance, did it look like an owl? If it looked like an owl, I know exactly who that is. That must have been like Stolas. I love Stolas. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. And he's also beloved by Lilith too. Okay, the erotic fantasy to row with the dark goddesses. Where did it go? Okay, we get the idea, just like last time. First goddess to come out. Okay. I'm just gonna watch like right here from now on at the same time. So that way, if something decides to come out. Yes, Stolas. I love Stolas. Oh, I love Stolas. Yeah, he is quite the hoot. Punny, I know. That's rude. Because he was just all like, I'm the hoot, huh? The hoot? Okay, well, last I checked, I think you're Dark Lady's butler. Sheesh. First one, Goddess in Power, is this one. This is the one that must be sought out. Stolas is very intelligent, and he knows a lot of sciences, especially political and kind of spiritual sciences. And I haven't really progressed far with him, but I know he's very intelligent. There's like not a subject he doesn't know. If that makes sense. Okay, that's that one. There's that one. Okay. Oh, Stolas? Okay, that one I don't know. Stolas is the one that is. Calliope. There's this sweetheart. There it is. That's Stolas. Prince and Null and understanding comes to these items has basic understanding into appraisal. So he's pretty much his area of specialties is explaining the values of precious stones and plants. So yeah, pretty intelligent in earth-related subjects and like botany, botanical science, gemstone work, crystal appraisal. He employs his knowledge of mystical, monetary, and medicinal objects to give the bearer an accurate picture of those items' uses, properties, and overall value. So you can also say that he's also a phenomenal writer because being able to explain something like that, you kind of need to be really good at weaving your words. This one is just the guidebook for the Damon. At the Damon Tarot, it's the guidebook, but when it comes to stuff like this, I take it with a grain of salt, and I kind of make my own interpretation, if that makes sense. Now, because like I said earlier, I'm not somebody who sees them as like, I have a circle, don't make me get an angel in here. No, God, yuck, I hate that. That agitates me. Well, look at Toth. Being Mercurian is very difficult. That makes sense. Yep, and that's, I think, his true form as an owl or a raven, but I'm getting sidetracked. Goddess in power for. What was it again? For Shadow. Goddess in power. Ready for it? Inanna. Seduction. Well, right now, current and the one in power is saying that creativity you have, just let it flow. Entrance and intoxicate others with it. Let them be amazed by it. Especially make sure you do it on the next full moon. Just let yourself go. And if somebody doesn't like it, they're jealous. Besides, you know what they say about mystery? It makes the mind run rampant. Let yourself go. Do as you please. And infiltrate somebody's mind. Because now's the time. That's the one in power. The Nana saying go for it. The one you must seek out. Hikate, protection. You must seek out ways to ensure that your well-being is priority number one. Even though you can seduce somebody and get into somebody's mind so simple, you have to make sure that you're protected first and make sure that you have all your P's and Q's protected. And my diffuser just stopped working. And there's plenty of water in it. It just stopped out of nowhere. Not put it on a timer. Ladies, calm down, please. Thank you. Anyway, make sure that you have your protections up because if you're trying to the best route I gotta go with it. If you're trying to woo somebody's mind, make sure that you're not able to get woozy wooed back, if that makes sense. And look at that. We have a double full moon. So full moon, make sure that you're having your protections up, but also being able to entrance someone. Double moon. You mustn't forget Nyx respite. I love Nyx so much. And if you notice, behind her chair is the moonlight. Now Nyx. I like to say that Nyx is the first divine to come into existence. From chaos came Nyx and her brother Urbos. Nyx is a blind goddess because she loves her children equally. She doesn't love any more or any less. She loves them all the same. That's why she's blind. But as in something you mustn't forget, going back with seduction, you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. Don't forget that you decide what you can share, and who knows? Maybe some things are best left as a surprise. Because the best seduction makes always ensures that you're safe first, strategize first, allure, but not really give your true intention out. Because if you can keep yourself in the shadows, the seduction is going to be just like, yeah, hook, line, sinker. And look at that. It's just so odd how it just so happens to be a deck that's a little bit on the nasty side, and we're talking about seduction. Happens. Okay. What on earth can come from this deck? Now, this deck, we're all ladies here, besides, I haven't seen a human body before, God forbid. I just got what I said. Make sure you have your plastic on, because if you don't, you're gonna have obligation to come out next. If you don't know, if you're not ready to have an obligation, don't stick it. If you have to stick it, put rubber on it. Like I said, we're all ladies here, kind of. So, God, I'm so horrible. Anyway. So, I almost said the D that's sticking it, but really it's supposed to be the deck that's sticking it. God. So horrible. Fine. Current standing is the, Lord Lanta, the tower. But in this depiction, this is funny. In this depiction, we have a man's head in the clouds, and he's mad. He's like, what? What do you mean I can't get her? Well, dude, it's just me and the kids. Looks like you got burned. That's odd. Wasn't he talking about, God being pretty mad that, he couldn't get the woman that he wanted? And now she's on Earth and he's in the sky. And now he's upset. It's like, damn it all. Well, life sucks, dude. It's like you can take care of yourself, use your own hand. That's all I gotta say. But because since this is the tower in this deck, I need to see what's falling. I have to see what's like falling and what's pretty much being the new foundation. Because, wait a minute. One. Okay, that was one. Then here's the second one. Okay, what's falling? The Ten of Swords. So what's falling is something that's dead. And also at the same time, this depiction doesn't really show that, something has been overkilled. It It's kind of something delighting in something that's dead. So what's falling is possibly a love interest that you used to be woozy wooed about. That was it didn't work out so good, and you're still trying to be romantic with it. Well, that's dead. What's coming is submission. Because look at the woman figure and look at the two men kissing her feet. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm thinking about it. That looks kind of similar. And Nana, all about seduction. Oh, crap. Oh, wrong lever. What's fallen? I really love this guy even though he's dead. Well, that's gone. And now he submits. And by the way, that's just one pole. Because, I have to figure out what fell and what's the new foundation. So what's fallen is being in a predicament of not having somebody's attention, and it's kind of dead. It dies and becomes just desserts. Somebody wasn't giving you the attention, and now it's going to be like, "Milady, I'll kiss your feet. You better." Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't scream seduction and I don't know what does. There's that one. Oh god, the quality just went down so bad watching them crying. Oh, I'm so sorry that it's glitching like that. I need to get a better modem or better thing. Definitely. Toesy fetish, yeah, okay. I don't understand that. I don't get it. It's like, it's a foot. I mean, I can understand if it has like a good arch, I don't know. But still, it's just like, it's a thing with toesies on it. How is that alluring? Okay, we're all, hey, you know what? Some people just are drawn to toesies, I guess. Whatever twerks, a twerk. Well, I don't twerk. You might throw your hips out. I tried once and I almost, let's just say I pulled, like this muscle. Yeah, no, not that, that's not the hamstring, but pulled a muscle back there and I'm like, oh, let's not ever twerk again. So, no, I don't want you, the one before you. There we go. About protection, huh? Well, also the Five of Wands. That's a card of going into Mortal Kombat and getting ready to beat the living out of each other. So yeah. Oh, okay, ladies, if you say so. So even though seducing somebody who, even though there's a big whoa moment that happened, and even though it's kind of, it might have been one-sided, well, now that since the tables have turned with a seduction strategy that should be carried out, you're ready to go in twigs ablazing and ready to show them how to really use a stick and how to really stick it. Just make sure you have your rubber with you. Make sure you're protected and safe. But when in doubt, just beat them over the head with a blunt object. Sometimes you have to give them a brain reset. But make sure that you're safe, because if you're going towards this, there might be a lot of spinning sticks. Not helicoptering, please no. That's not the kind of time to talk about this. Ladies, let's be decent. Come on, honey. But still, you get the idea. Just make sure that you're safe, and if you're going to be combating for something, make sure that you have yourself in a secure and safe environment when you're trying to go towards something. Because even though there's three women in Higate's card, just be on your guard and make sure that if you're fighting for something, make sure that it's okay if you're overkilled. Don't be afraid to be like, competition? What competition? Oh, you mean that hooch over there? Well, you know what's really sad? The amount of the list of people that I've dated doesn't even come anywhere close to her list. Like, holy crap, how many pages is that? 20? Dang. Talk about being low tide of the pier. You know what they say about a lock that can be opened by any key? Talk about rusty. Eh, there's a lot of twigs in this thing. But also there's one earth. Oh man. I don't know. Excuse me. Yep, I'm the same way. If I'm not emotionally attached, I ain't doing nothing. I mean, I've had people try so hard to be like, oh, I bet I can win you over. Okay, but you're gonna have to go through this obstacle course of an icy, it's like an icy obstacle course. And by the way, all that red puddles all over the place, that's not tomato. That's not ketchup. That's blood of the people that tried, and they failed. And if you take a look, you actually see, people still impaled in their blue now. You can try, but don't expect to get through the obstacle course towards my heart. Trust me. Anyway, last card to come through. No, okay, fine. Well, you gotta let go of the deck first, obviously. Fine, I'll do that. Didn't I just say something about three people? If you have competition, remember, turn up the seduction game. Tease them to come in between your twigs. Because this is the Nine of Wands, but in this depiction, you have a woman kind of being very seductive with her approach. While over here, there is one woman that's standing much higher than the other two. Put yourself on top. Be more alluring than these two, because these two down below are kind of more interested in each other. This one is like, oh, I'm much better than these ones. I'm higher than them. Besides, I know how to seduce somebody and pull them towards me in my castle twigs. But again, next end being respite in this Three of Cups. Gee, those two are interested in one another and they're conversing with one another. This one has other plans. Next is saying, you don't have to tell everybody what's going on. Oh, okay. I know exactly what I'm going to do, not say a word. I'll just keep my seduction game up and just open the door so that way he can come in himself. But you know what they say about seduction. You get them right in the head good enough, they can't resist for long. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, you know what? The good thing about being called Madame, it's an elegant title. And you know what they say about Madame? Madame needs to be treated as um, as a noble class, a high class, an elegant class, nothing less. Because if that happens, it's like some guy is not going to be getting a good help with his grip. Mm-hmm. Both in Taurus. Again, seducing the senses. One's sense of empowerment. And the way that someone seduces others is by the senses: hearing, sight, smell, taste, touch. Oh, just again, make sure you're when you're going to go into battle. But the funny thing is, now that I'm seeing this, kind of a, there's four men in here, and there's only one woman. So the message is even getting louder, saying, "Show these men how to really grab a twig, and how to really hit someone upside the head with it. Take your stick and go fighting for it. And if you gotta show them how it's done, well, there's a reason why that for some reason, most of the time they need help sometimes. Not saying to be sexist. I'm not sexist, trust me. Because even if I was, it would be a little bit odd. Like, I'm a flamer, but I fight for the female gender. It's like, what kind of flamer are you? You're attracted to one, but you're supporting the other. It's like, wow. That's like a reverse by, well, yeah. Pretty much what I do is I just let myself go. Just make sure that when you're gonna go fighting for whichever you deem fit, make sure you're protected. Because yeah, she kind of looks a little bit exposed in the back. Make sure you're protected and not caught off guard from the behind. No. Yeah, I mean, make sure that your seduction tactic actually ends up having those men that were you're going to Mortal Kombat with end up being the ones that kiss your feet. Because in the end, in the end, you don't have to tell nobody what your real plan is. Building a house of twigs and just pulling the one you wanted. Nobody has to know the grand scheme of things. In fact, if they find out, just tell them, no, that's not what's going on, stalker. I mean, the thing is if she's like, I want this one, I want this one. Okay, fine. You said so. You can't give it back to them. And if that spirit does that to you again, just say, and now you wonder why, when in your past life, dude, you pretty much died alone. That's why. You keep wrapping people's behinds. That's why you're forever alone. You died alone. Ooh, right in the kidney shot with that one. That's not how you get somebody by grabbing their donkey. No. And that's a good way to be forever virgined. Rip. Well, it's offensive. Well, it's not offensive. It's really technically the truth. It's only offensive is because you can't take it. And I saw something just move right there. It's like, and of course, of all the bloody times, I just look down and then I see, oh look, there's my card right there, Queen of Cups at the very bottom, just out of nowhere, and it wasn't there 2 seconds ago. Every time. Whenever this deck, whenever this card pops up just out of nowhere like that, it's like, oh, Brendan's in his prime. Not like that. I mean, I can handle. Don't. Screw it. We only live once. Well, I mean, I can handle 10 inches. I can handle my inches. Speaking of that, I remember many moons ago when I used to work at a travel stop in the subway. Literally. When I had to make a sandwich for somebody. Went in to grab, got the gloves on and got all ready, and I asked them, so how many inches you want, 6 or 12? Not once. Did anybody ever have a straight face when I asked that? And then I'm just all like, why are you laughing? How many inches you want? You want 6 or 12? I'm serious. How many inches? 6 or 12, dude? 6. You're a real funny one. No, really. You want 6 inches or you want the 12? Which one do you want? Hurry up before I decide for you. I'm dead serious. Wow. How long have I been my road? Can I simplify it? I don't know what I just did, but 196 minutes. 196. That's 3 hours. Have I been live for? Have I been live for 3 hours? Damn. Damn. Tyler's Turo ain't got nothing on this. That's never really. I like how he reads. He's just like, Oh God. Oh, not the he who font. Oh look, it's His Holiness the Pope. He who thinks teaching by intimidation is the best way because, well, hey, in this depiction, well, he's like saying, you must stick it like this. If you don't, you're going to. What the heck would that even be? If you don't stick it right, you're going to paradise? Because I don't think in paradise you stick it. I got nothing. Wow. Good job, he who font. Yep, I mean, I like to pretty much just say that the Hierophant is essentially a Capricorn Jupiter. That position, you're having Jupiter being forced to teach for status. And he teaches by intimidating. That's Capricorn. Afflicts fear, anxiety, and always wants to make himself the best. Jupiter, and also another one. This is probably another, if not the best depiction of Jupiter Capricorn. You're taking an African American pastor from down south. You're taking him, and now you're going up to him and saying, you cannot preach with all that loudness. You have to tone it down. You think a black pastor is going to listen to that? He's going to be like, why in the hell am I going to do that? Bless your heart, my good sir. And if you know what that means from down south, you done gun fucked up. And that doesn't work. You cannot tell an African American pastor to tone it down. It does not work. You're telling them, can your soul, bring it down a notch. Good luck. Interesting. Uh-oh, looks like somebody got dethroned. Dethroned. Oh. You know what's really funny? My watch time went from 2.6 now to 3.2. Oh, did I just cheat? Oh darn. Oh well, Google can handle it. I mean, they have all this money. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna hit the hay. I'll be pretty much just floating around. I'll post when my next live will be, and I'm thinking I'll probably get into like a routine of doing like what Tyler Terrell does in a way, because that's kind of like how I want to be. doing it. Like having like zodiac sign stuff and just being kind of like a basic YouTube reader, but not really. I kind of want to figure out a way to put my own spin on it in the future. So, for all of you that stuck with me the past 3 hours and 20 minutes, thank you for that. It helped my watch time a lot. And I guess I'll just see you guys on the next one and be safe. And remember, let your Twix go crazy. Page of Wands. Speak soft, but carry that big stick. And make sure you stand on them toesies.